to be here. We still have lots of people that are still coming in, so we're gonna take the next half hour to mingle, get to know each other, and enjoy some of that amazing food that we have over there. Thanks to our friends at Access Insurance who have graciously donated to this program tonight so that we could have some amazing food. So please feel free to head over, grab a few things to eat, come sit back down, mingle with your friends here as we get started. We'll get started right around 7 o'clock when the councilwoman gets here, and it should be a good time. So thank you for coming in. We really appreciate it, and we'll continue with the lighthearted music. All for coming out to join us here for the Special Needs Advisory, Advisory Board Special Needs Safety Program Workshop. That is a mouthful. We are glad and honored that you could all be with us here tonight. I know some of you are still grabbing some food over there. No worries. What we're going to do is go ahead and get started. And by the way, during any point of this night, you are welcome to go back and have more food if you want. What we're going to do is we're going to do some introductions, get to know the people that are here to speak with us tonight. Then we're going to learn a little bit about the safety program and some new stuff that's recently happened that makes it even better. And then we'll get into a question and answer. If you have any questions towards the end, we'll definitely take them and be able to hopefully answer any questions you have for the program. If you are interested in getting a copy of the registration, the program registration, we have some on our table over here. It's the center white pieces of paper. There's some pens there if you'd like to fill it out tonight. If you want to take it home, that's fine too. There's no rush to anything. And by the way, anything that's on there is voluntary. You do not have to fill out the whole thing. The more you give us, the more we're able to help you out. So we'll kind of get into that in just a bit. But first, let me welcome you all here. And I want to thank our sponsors for tonight. Access Insurance Group, a big thank you to them. They really came through tonight to help us put together that amazing spread of food that you are enjoying. They've got some goodies on our table over here as well. I think they've got some masks and some pens and a really nice nifty bag that is a little bit different than ours because ours are backpacks. So you can choose whichever one you'd like, but big thank you to them. Contact them for any information at accessInsuranceGroup.com. That's accessinsgroup.com. So thank you guys. The first person we want to introduce is kind of the spearhead of why this board and why this program actually exists here in the town of Miami Lakes, and that is Councilwoman Marilyn Ruano. Councilwoman, thank you for being here tonight. You can speak here, whatever you want.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Everyone can hear us okay? So I really appreciate you coming out to this very special workshop. I want to give you a little bit of history of, how we made it here and all of the wonderful things that we've accomplished. For many, many years, I made amazing friends in this town. Since my son was a little boy, I made amazing friends that had children on the spectrum, parents of children on the spectrum. And as those children grew, the problems grew with them, right? Because just like any other parent, little kids, little problems, bigger kids, bigger problems. That's our reality. My son is 22 years old now, and if I could take him back to age 5, I would in a heartbeat because it was so much easier at that moment. So when I joined the council, the town council, my first and foremost priority was to create some sort of program or some sort of community here in the town to help parents that had children on the spectrum and children with other abilities as well. So my dear friend, Marianela Alvarez, who a lot of you know very well, she is my inspiration. She is the strongest woman that I have ever met. And she is the one that taught me, right, how to never stop fighting, how to never stop trying to advocate for the things that are important to us. And the Special Needs Advisory Board was one of my dreams, right? And thanks to wonderful council members like Josh Dieguez, who is a friend and a friend of this community as well, they allowed me, my council members allowed me to create the Special Needs Advisory Board. It was my dream and they made it a reality. And here we are today with the most amazing board. We have Vivian, we have John, we have other board members here where you'll see them with their shirts on. This board works diligently to bring programs to this community, to create the dream, which is an all-inclusive Miami Lakes, a community where everything that we do includes every resident, regardless of what our abilities are. And so that's why you're all here today, because that dream has grown and grown and grown. And we have really important information to share with you today because we have our neighborhood resource officer, Robin Amador, who is part of this endeavor and he brought to us about a year ago, perhaps, maybe more. He brought to us a very important program. And so we are launching or relaunching, because we did this a little while ago, the Special Needs Safety Program, which is something that is going to be of a lot of use to all of us in the community. So I'm going to pass this along. Councilmember Dieguez is going to speak to you a little bit in a few minutes about something that the county is doing, because Councilmember Dieguez is very much involved with Miami-Dade County. And so the programs that we start here, we try for them to spread, right? Good things should spread. They should be contagious. When we created this all-inclusive community, there's a lot of municipalities that have followed along. We use other municipalities as an example of things that we should follow. They use us as well. Councilmember Dieguez keeps track, very, very good track with what happens in Tallahassee, what happens at Miami-Dade County. And so we all have different areas that we tackle, and he's very involved in that. He's going to share some information with us about that. But I'd love to start with Officer Amador so that he can walk us through this wonderful program that we now have here in the town of Miami Lakes. Yes, of course. Absolutely.
Actually, I think I actually forgot to say who I am. People are like, who's this guy that's randomly
John.
talking? I'm John Roger. Thank you, everybody. And I just wanted to also remind everyone that, you can find out information about our board and what we're working on our Newtown website. If you haven't seen the Newtown website, it is really cool. It actually is very, very user friendly, and it's easy to see and easy to read. So check it out. And we have a section under the committee boards. So check it out. We do have a video that we would like to play for you guys here before we actually get started for tonight. So I'm going to have them go ahead and play the video. This is a video that we first produced of this program back when it was called the Special Needs Registry. What we've done here is we've upgraded it to the safety program, so it's more inclusive and it's more respective of our fellow citizens here in the town. So without further ado, go ahead and play that video.
Hi, my name is Major Javi Ruiz from the Town of Miami Lakes Police Section of the Miami-Dade Police Department. The Town of Miami Lakes and its police department is proud to present the Special Needs Registry Program. This voluntary program was created to better serve those with unique or special needs in our community who may require special assistance, especially during an interaction with a police officer. Each participant will also receive a window decal to display outside of their home, letting responding officers know that the family member is on the registry. The registry is intended to compile and maintain a list of individuals who have special needs due to mental or neurological disabilities. Each participant will also receive a wristband with an identifying number, letting any officer that they interact with know that they're on the special needs registry. The registry can also provide the parent or guardian's emergency contact information. The goal of this program is to help those with special needs feel safe and comfortable around police officers. Community policing, working together to make a difference. And remember, let us continue growing beautifully.
All right. Thank you for sharing that video with us. And so, folks, now you kind of get an idea of what the safety program is now all about. A big thank you to, like, as Marilyn said, all of our board members that are here tonight. A lot of these people have put a lot of effort into trying to make sure that not only this program, but other programs that we're offering are helping this community. And when we set out to do something, we know that all the money that was raised for this board is donations. And when we consider what we're putting out there, we make sure that it actually has an impact in this community, whether it's Arts for Autism, Hope for Autism, and some of our new programs that are starting. We have a really cool dojo program, a karate dojo program that's non-contact for adults with special needs. And then we have the safety program, which is all encompassing. It encompasses not just children with special needs, adults with special needs. It even encompasses our elderly community. We make sure that we're taking care of everyone, because the whole purpose of this program is to keep us all safe from whatever the situation may be. When you forgot where you're going, you don't know what's going on, you're confused, you can't talk. This program is here to help you. So as Councilwoman Ruano mentioned, let's go ahead and introduce Mr. Robin Amador, who is our police officer in the town of Miami Lakes that has the best knowledge of this program.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. Thank you, John. So I love that video because even though I'm in it, also, it has so much information that, right? It's a small video, but you guys got a gist of already of what it talks about. I'm Officer Robin Amador, for those who don't know me. I've been with the Miami-Dade Police Department for about 20 years. Here in the town, close to 15 years. So this has been my home for a long time. About 2 years ago, the neighborhood resource officer was retiring and I was asked to take his place. So I came on, very happy to be here. I mean, I don't speak as eloquently as John and Mr. Ruano, but I try my best. But it's been great. During that time, my predecessor, he did not have this program. So the good thing about my involvement is I came in at the moment that the program started. So we started a program together. Everybody had so much input. And at the end of the day, I think there's not a lot that we can do to make it better. The program started with Pembroke Pines. Pembroke Pines Department has the program. They've had it for a little while. And the Special Needs Committee, they saw that it was working. So they started coming into the program. And that's how everything pretty much started. So for those people who don't know. And essentially the main goal for the program is for the officers to have as much information as possible before engaging with the person. And obviously this is something that everybody knows, but it's a lot harder than what it seems, right? We don't know what we're getting ourselves into. We get dispatched to calls where the information we have, we think is what it is, and we get there and it's completely different. And it happens so many times that by having having all this information in the program, we know what we're getting into. So what I want to start with is I want to talk about what happens when, I'm going to go backwards a little bit. I want to start about what happens when you register for the program. So first and foremost, to register for the program, it's a very simple paperwork, and it's not real registration. You're just giving information. You're not going to be told that you can't be part of the program. It doesn't matter who it is, what's your age, you're fine. After we receive the paperwork, let me go back. The main thing is tonight you guys have the paperwork here, but when you go home, there's many ways of receiving the paperwork. When you go home, you can go online, and today the town launched the new web program, and apparently it's very good. Everything's already there. You can go on townofmiamilakes.gov, I believe, and all the information is going to be there. You can print out the paperwork. There's also the lobby, our town lobby. You can come in at any time from 8 to 5, pick up there, and no excuses. You can, if you call me at 2 a.m, I will bring you the paperwork. It's happened where I had a gentleman that he told me he couldn't come by. He finished at 11, no problem. I was at his house at 11:30 at night. I have the green light. I will give you the paperwork and we're good to go. Now, when the paperwork is returned back, same thing. If you can bring it back from 8 to 5, or you can call me, again, no excuses. You can call me at any time and I will come by and pick it up. Once we receive the paperwork, I go through all the paperwork. If there's any discrepancies, or sometimes there's some information that we want a little bit more, just a little bit more, I'll give you a call. We'll talk, go through the paperwork again. Then that paperwork is sent out to our dispatch. Dispatch has to have the paperwork in hand. Everything has to be processed on their hand before anything else happens, because the main thing is that if you call 911 for that address, the officers that are going to come out have to have the information via dispatch, right? And that's the main thing about this program. So after all that clerical work is done, and all the processes are done, we come back and the officers get an email with a lot of information on the registrant, and it's in the dispatch. And I'll give you an example. So we have, like, somebody says they have the registrant has Down syndrome. Well, within that, they're nonverbal, doesn't follow directions or understand simple instructions. If I know that information before coming out to a house, I'm going to know how to be able to accordingly take care of that. Another thing is speak to him directly and in close proximity. And these are examples of things that are actually on the registry. Does not like loud noises. Reacts well to a high five greeting. If I know that Johnny is good with a high five and I'm not getting through and I go like this, right? What's going to happen? Well, I'm going to get a reaction, and that's what I want. I want a reaction from the registrant. Once information has been saved, it goes through dispatching system. The officers receive the email. Then I make contact. I call you again. We make contact, and I might have not called you the first time if the processes were already done, but I could have called you first or second time. If the parents or guardian agree to meet, because what has happened is I have been told that the person doesn't want me to come to their house, and there's a million reasons for that. So what we've done is we've met somewhere else, and I've given them the information. I've given the registrant the information, and then we've coordinated another day at another time. I met one of the registrants at a park. Whatever is better for your family, we will make it happen, to include if I have to come in on the weekend, anything that I can do, I'll try to make it happen. The main reason why I want to meet with the registrant is I want to bring a positive to the uniform, right? And what you see here is what you're going to see when I come to the house. No difference. You're going to see a gun. You're going to see all this. Why? Because like we were talking about before, a lot of people that don't know, that aren't a part of the, especially like the autism spectrum, or families that don't know about these things, they don't know that a lot of people that are on the spectrum are very observant. And if I don't show up like this with the uniform, with everything on, the next time the registrant sees an officer, they might say, okay, well, there's something different. So this is not the same thing. No, I want them to look as much as possible as what I have. When I meet, I bring a goodie bag and I give the goodie bag. I'm gonna have an example of what that is here. I bring a water bottle. I have, especially for young guys, coloring book. Oh, thank you, sir. John, if you can tell me what this is.
So for those of you that aren't familiar with this, these are our PEC boards. What they call these PECs, these are for those that are nonverbal, and they communicate using PECs. Some of you may actually be using that right now. I know a lot of the folks from Hope for Autism are here, and it gives the ability for the child or the adult to be able to point to how they're feeling, what they're wanting to do, what they feel at the moment, which is critical because when Officer Amador or any of our departments, a town department, police department show up at the door, they need to know what they're expecting. And I think you brought it up, and it really is an important part of that, because this also counts for those that are not on the spectrum. Those are also just dealing with regular situations, or being a person that might have dementia, for example. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what they're to feel. Having that information on his computer before he arrives stops a situation that could go south. Many of you people may very well know, we've seen it on the news plenty of times, where a situation involving an officer goes the wrong way because they weren't aware that the individual, the adult, had autism or had a special need. No one knew what was going on. The caretaker isn't around. Something went wrong. And had they had that knowledge, there wouldn't have been a situation. And that's what this program aims to fix with all the good stuff that they'd be able to come out here and work with.
Yeah, thank you, John.
You're welcome.
One other thing that we give is a fidget spinner, little things like that. For the registrant, I come out and I bring you, we have stickers that were made by the registry. These stickers are for the home. We were asked also for the car. I said, that's a good idea for the car too, because it's something that the officers can see. What happens with these stickers is these are for your home mainly. So you're part of the registry. If there's a call to your home, it's going to come out on dispatch. The officers are going to receive the information. But what has happened is there's a call next door for whatever, and the officer has to come to your house, but your house wasn't involved in the dispatch. So when the officer comes up to the house, they see, oh, there's a special needs person that is living in that home. Now they can say, okay, dispatch, I'm going to give you the address, give me the information. Now we have the information. Before we would knock on the door, we already know what's going on in that house. One big example that we have is that we had a registrant, the mother called because the dad was having a heart attack. Fire rescue was dispatched, but since that address is in the system, it came out that there was a special needs person in the house. So she was very happy because when the units got there, is he okay? Fine. Okay, so how's your son? And where is he? And what is he doing? And everything was, oh my God, there was so much attention to him. And that's what she wanted, because one of the things that they had put in the application was to not have loud noises. So as soon as they came around the corner, they turned off, including fire, turned off all the sirens. So the registrant was calm. It was a traumatic event, right? That's a traumatic event for anybody having a heart attack, but it was really as calm as it could have been. It could have been the other way around. If he had not been in the registry, everybody would have ran in the way that we normally would, and fire and all that, and it would have been a little bit more traumatic for the person. Another thing that we give you is a wristband. This wristband has a number on it, and that is the number for the registrant. So if they're walking around, they wander, officer sees it, they already recognize this type of band. Oh, what's the number? Dispatch, I have this person here. Like you guys saw in the video, it's an adult, he's walking around. We don't know if he's lost. He might just be walking around, but if they notice that, oh, there's somebody with this band already and there's nobody around, maybe we need to investigate and see, just check a little bit more on that. I'm going to end with what I said in the beginning. The goal is a program for the officers to have as much information as possible before we make contact with it, with anybody. One good thing that happened, so we have the registration package, and obviously all this information goes to local government and it's a part of a registry. What ended up happening this year, August, is Ron DeSantis signed so that any public records requests for these types of registries are exempt. So if you have all your information on this paperwork and there's a public records request, which happens all the time, everything on there is going to be redacted. The only person that has it is the custodial delegate, which is me, and the dispatching system. Besides that, you guys are good. I'm going to introduce our town attorney, Mr. Cobiella, and he has more information on that to give you guys.
Thank you, Officer Amador, for that brief introduction. And I want to thank Councilwoman Rano for creating all of this. She created the actual committees by the example of Marinela Alvarez, who I too will consider a dear and personal friend, and someone that constantly challenges me to give back to the community as best as we can. And I want to also thank Councilman Dieguez, who's also been a champion for the causes of folks with not only those that are on the spectrum, but also those that have Alzheimer's, the elderly, and dementia. And I mentioned those two because the actual law that Officer Amador was referring to is a law. It's a Florida statute 40288, and that particular statute not only discusses persons that are on the spectrum, but also discusses persons that have Alzheimer's and persons that have dementia. And what it allows is for local governments to be able to create these databases, these registry programs. And it explains how these registry programs are supposed to be created, what are the documentations that are necessary. And once the person is and qualifies to be on these on this registry, then that information is exempt from public records. I think the explanation that Officer Amador gave is perfect. Basically what that means is that even though government is keeping that information, government has all those all those records, right? The name of the person, their disability or their illness, their ailment, what their likes are, dislikes are, all that information, while it does become a public record, it cannot be disseminated to others. It has to be redacted because that's what the law has created. It's created that as an exemption from that. I want to congratulate the committee, Special Needs Advisory Board, Vivian and John, because you guys are doing this completely on a volunteer basis and giving back to the community. And this is a very important program. In my private practice, besides working for the town as your deputy town attorney, I've also dealt with a lot of issues with folks who have both Alzheimer's and dementia, and you have to create guardianships for them, and folks that have children that are aging out, becoming 18-year-old and older, and they need a guardianship. And so many times what happens is that these guardianships are created sometimes out of an emergency basis. There's a disruption in the home. There's some kind of domestic violence. There's some kind of dispute, and the person involved sometimes is someone who has Alzheimer's, is sometimes someone who has dementia, sometimes it's someone who is on the spectrum, and police are called out. And it's important for them to understand who they are dealing with. That person is not acting out of malice necessarily, but is acting out of an inability to be able to really control their actions. And so in a small town like of Miami Lakes, this registry program and the new protections that were afforded by the legislature and signed into law by Governor DeSantis protects the privacy of the individual that has this ailment, and allows then law enforcement to be able to utilize this very important information to be able to make sure that they're treating the person for who that person is, already understanding where that person is at that time, and understanding that this is not a person that's trying to act out of malice, is trying to do harm because of their own volition. They're doing it perhaps out of a certain ailment, out of their own condition that they're going through at the time. So with that, I'll turn it over. I apologize if I've been long-winded. I just wanted to make sure that everyone that's in attendance today, and thank you all for being in attendance, understands the new law.
Thank you, Mr. Kobe. I really appreciate it very much for you speaking with us here today from Tallahassee, and really just giving us some insight into how that has really changed this program into a thing for something that's even better now for all of our community. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
So guys, all right, now that we've gotten to this part, we're going to actually, we're going to hear from Josh here in a minute. And we're also going to talk to Officer Amador a few more times. But this allows me to open up a little bit and kind of make this more personal. You can tell I'm usually really easy to talk to, and I'm nervous as can be for some reason, but I just tell you the reason why this is important. And I remember when I first joined the board and we talked about this, Vivian and Marilyn have the one that really got this program going. And to me, it was extremely important because my two children have autism. When we came to South Florida, they were nonverbal, and now they have picked up some language, which is amazing. But still to this day, my youngest son, Anthony, he has epilepsy. So communication can go away in a heartbeat in the middle of a seizure. And with my son, I know for sure that there's some things he still can't figure out how to talk about, how to communicate about, how to let someone know how he's feeling. He knows how to tell me. It's one of those things where he gets up right in my face and gets up head to head, and he's like looking at me, and I know what he's feeling. But Officer Amador doesn't. And having this program allows me to write in there and say, listen, I know that if we had to call 911 for some reason, now you're going to know that Anthony prefers to keep his headphones on at all times, and he loves fire trucks. If you didn't have that information and you walked in the house and something was wrong with me, it would be a mess. And that's the one thing that we thought about when it comes to everyone in this town, when it comes to whatever special need you have. It's not just autism, there's all types of special needs. And what we said is we got to put together a program. When we looked at, Pembroke Pines, they did a great job, but they're Pembroke Pines. That's their law department. It stays in their city. we as a town, we don't have a town police department. We work with the Miami-Dade Police Department, which is amazing because what happened is we took the idea of Pembroke Pines and we put it on a county level. So yes, if you get into this program, the officers in the town of Miami Lakes will be able to know. But guess what? If something's happening in Cutler Bay and you're on, visiting family, the Miami-Dade Police Department has that information too. Anywhere in the county, you are covered. So we've been telling everyone this is imperative that you get this program, that you fill out as much information into it as you can so that the town police department and the Miami-Dade Police Department itself in general knows what you need. That's why it's amazing because it's for our town, but it also works for anyone that's in this county. It's imperative that we get our young, our elderly, it doesn't matter. If you have a special need and you're someone in your family needs to be protected in the case of something going wrong, that's what this is for. And with the new law from Tallahassee, now no one can see your information, period. So whatever you give us is confidential to the police department. Only they know it and you know it. That's what makes this program so important to have. So with that being said, we've also have some stuff that goes with the program. Officer Amador also shared with you the sticker. We know that some of the residents here in Graham communities have said they can't have stickers on doors and windows. No worries. That's what the band is for. You can wear the band at all times. It's a really great condition type band. It can go in water. It can go anywhere. And you know what? If it wears out, call us. We'll get you a new one. You lose it, call us. We'll get you another one. Our goal is to make sure that our residents are protected. And with that being said, I would like to introduce another person that's here with us today, and that's Councilman Josh Dieguez, who has some updates about those stickers. It's really kind of important. Josh, you want to take it?
Thank you, everybody. So I'll be brief. I know it's getting late and you all want to get home. But first of all, thank you all for joining us here and learning more about this important program. And again, I can't say it enough. Thank you to the Special Needs Advisory Board, John and Vivian and everybody in the team, Councilwoman Morano, for all your efforts to get us here. The truth is that if it wasn't for Marilyn, we would not even be talking about special needs issues in the town of Miami Lakes. That's just a fact. But she's gotten the ball rolling on this. She grabbed the bull by the horns, and here we are today. So again, a lot of thanks goes to you because this is your issue 100%. So don't let anybody ever take that away from you. So really quickly, what happened is that last week the Board of County Commissioners met, and they also approved a very similar decal program that you can apply for and display at your home. But what's neat about this one, though, too, is not only can you display it at your home, very similar to ours, but you also can go ahead and put it on your car so that if in the event that you or a family member has an interaction with a police officer while you're in the middle of a traffic stop, let's say for speeding or whatever the case might be, or they're in the car with you, that decal will notify the officer as well that they need to fall back on the specialized training that they've received to deal with those that live with autism. So, and makes them aware that they may be with someone who may not react well or may not be responsive. So, it just lets them know, that they're dealing with someone that they have to rely on their training for. And again, it's more of an extension of the program that we have here in the town. Another thing I want to point out is when you just made that statement about the Graham companies not allowing the stickers, that surprises me. I do think if we spoke to them that perhaps they'd be open. So for those of you that live in the Graham communities, my promise, and I know Marilyn's promise as well, will be to speak with the Graham companies to allow you to go ahead and display that sticker. I think that's just extremely important, and and I'm sure they would understand. I don't think they're going to be an obstacle on that front. But the county program, just reverting back to that a second, it hasn't launched yet. Again, it was just approved last week. They are shooting, though, for an April 2024 launch date on their decal program. So as soon as we get more details on the specifics, we will absolutely, as a town, push out that information to give you the opportunity to apply for that program so you can apply the decal on your car. So if you have any questions, I'll be, about the program generally as well. I'll be off to the side here, and more than happy to speak with you about your concerns. Maybe there's something else as well that we can work on here in the town that you feel that we're missing. But again, thank you for all your participation. here and any future events that we do. It's important that we have a very engaged populace. So thank you for your time and thanks for being here.
All right, so two more things. One thing that's really important that I think is really cool. I just found out we're streaming this, so I think it'll be on the town's Facebook page. So if there was something you want to go back and revisit, you'll be able to go watch it again. And obviously that'll be available if you want to share it with other members of your family or other people in the town that you think would like to see the video and learn a little bit more about our special needs safety program. That being said, we did offer the opportunity. We said we were going to have a question and answer type session so that if you have any questions for Officer Amador, for Marilyn, for our town attorney, that we would be able to do that. Vivian, my vice chair over here, has a microphone. So if you would like to ask a question, just raise your hand. She'll come over, bring you the microphone. You can ask the question and we'll go from there.
I'm in charge of the senior in Miami Lakes. I'm the chair of the committee, and I can see this being a big issue and something I know I really would appreciate. And I think, and if anybody in there, who can I start with to get to have a committee like that? I mean, a meeting like this for the seniors. I mean, during the summer, we don't have all the opportunities we want with the different with Roberto Alonso, but if we could have like a meeting over at Marion's over there, I know I could get a lot of people to come to this because I think it's something the seniors really need. I see it in my bingos and I sit there and pray when I see somebody get up and they're going to fall. So I really would love to get involved in this.
Well, you're just in luck for that because we have several workshops scheduled throughout the year. And we had already talked about doing another one of the same program so that we could do it. And I guess we're going to do it during your bingo event.
That would
How
be
about
great.
that?
They'll show up then.
Yeah, why not? We figured we would do the first one here in town hall because we wanted everybody to get a chance to come out. We know a lot of folks are working and such, but so summertime? Okay. She's already making our calendar. All right, we'll do it.
God bless you guys. Basically, I'm looking for a job, and I'm gonna work on a bank. And that member there, he's the best. He's my friend.
I love you too.
And but for us, we're here to visit. For me, my children, it's a vision for us, and the lady is amazing. And a guy on a TV, he's the best too.
On the
And
TV, I like that.
thank you for everything. And I'm looking for a job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, if you have a question, you want to make a statement, it doesn't matter. Go ahead, just raise your hand.
I think I want to say thank you for bringing this awareness to our community. It's really important. It means a lot to everybody who is with this situation. So I had a situation with my son where he got lost on me, and it was a big deal. I was actually in Boca Raton, and he ran over to the house next door, and he didn't tell me. Anyways, make a long story short, he got lost on me. I ended up calling the police. They ended up getting the helicopters to look for him, and it was a big deal. Nobody wants to deal with that. They kept asking me if he knows how to swim, and it was a very scary situation. What I learned from that, and I haven't followed through, and I don't know if this is the same situation that we're going over because I missed the first part, but do those bracelets have signal where they're able to get tracked on the helicopters? No,
No,
they're not
no.
that kind of safety.
No, it's a regular rubber band.
Okay, because I was told then to fill out some paperwork and let the local law enforcement know that and it works for seniors as well and everybody. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a band that has frequency, and if they get lost, the signal gets picked up on the two-way radio. So they're out patrolling the area, and they pick up on that frequency, and everybody just stops what they're doing. There's an alert, there's a picture, there's a message. They go looking for that person. They pick up the frequency, and then they relocate. Everybody just drops what they're doing. They go. And what I learned from that episode, from that deal, is that don't wait too long to call the police, because the perimeter of the search is going to be a lot further out. And I did wait, and I did walk, and we all looked for my kid, and he disappeared. And they found him, and it was a big deal. So I was just questioning to see if it was something like that, because I was really interested and I wanted to follow up, and this would have been my opportunity to do that.
So a lot of different departments have different things that they deal with. I've heard of something private, like a private company that deals in those. But I'm sure from what it sounds like, it might be a partnership with maybe the local PD and that type of program. But I'm going to look into it right away and see if the county has anything that we have not been briefed of anything like that for us as of right now. And maybe we can push it. I mean, that's a good thing about this program here in the town. Pembroke Pines started. These wonderful people wanted the same thing. So we can continue, right? And continue. That's one of the big positives of having these programs too, that we never talk about.
All right, we'll look into that for you. Thank you. Anyone else? Any other questions out there? Okay. Well, okay, absolutely. Give me a second here. I'll go ahead and have her do that then. So for the most part, then we really don't go anywhere. No one leave. We appreciate you all coming out and being a part of this. If you do have questions down the road, you can obviously email us, email the town, and they can route it to us. Email Gabby. That lady back there waving her hand, she is our liaison. You can stop and see her before you leave. She makes sure that we know everything that's going on. So if you have any questions or concerns, whatever, let her know. And Marilyn would like to step up here and do us a big favor. She's going to speak a little bit about this in Spanish, because I've still not learned Spanish despite being here for 7 years. I know. I was just joking with Francisco, our one of our board members, just a minute ago. When I was working at iHeartRadio, one of my first actual news reports was interviewing the PIO over in Broward. And her name, I forgot her first name, but it was Concepcion. I kept calling her Conception. And then my boss kept coming up to me and going, "What's the matter with you?" And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Read this name." And I said, "It's Conception." She goes, "It's Concepcion." And I'm like, I'm from the country, okay? All right, Marilyn, go ahead.
Thank you. Tenemos algunos miembros de la audiencia hoy que no hablan inglés. ¿Cuántas personas no dominan bien el inglés, que prefieren que le hagamos la presentación en español? Bueno, ahí lo vamos a ayudar un poquito. John no habla muy bien en el inglés, pero sí toma café cubano. You drink Cuban coffee? So ha aprendido a tomar en español. Y pastelitos de guayaba. O sea que no domina el español, pero sí come en español muy bien. Bueno, para ayudarlos un poquito, para explicarles lo que estamos presentando hoy día, es un programa que se llama un programa de seguridad, un registro de seguridad para individuos que tienen necesidades especiales, limitaciones físicas, o personas que son mayores, que quizás tienen un poquito de demencia o un poquito de Alzheimer's. Es un programa que está vinculado con nuestro departamento de policía. Es una documentación, un papelito que le llenan al señor Robin Amador, que es uno de los policías nuestros que nos ayuda, la estrella nuestra del departamento de policía, que nos ayuda con todos los programas de la comunidad. En este registro le piden información sobre la persona que vive en su casa, que tiene alguna discapacidad o alguna limitación física. Quizás es una persona que se pierde, que tiene problemas de memoria, que los ruidos le molestan, o que quizás no ve bien. Este tipo de información se documenta en un registro con el departamento de policía, para que en el caso de que haya alguna llamada de emergencia a su casa, los policías cuando llegan ya tienen la información del individuo y de la manera como tratar ese individuo. O sea, para que no haya nada que le cause ninguna molestia a ese individuo. No necesariamente tiene que ser, digamos que si es una persona mayor que se confunde un poquito, no necesariamente tiene que ser una llamada sobre esa persona. Quizás digamos que hay un señor mayor con demencia y la esposa se siente mal, vienen los bomberos a ver a la esposa y entonces ya saben que el señor tiene esa limitación. Igual si hay una persona que quizás el ruido le molesta mucho, pues el oficial Amador nos explicó que aquí hubo una llamada donde cuando los policías se acercaron a la casa con los bomberos, apagaron todas las sirenas para que al llegar a la casa esa persona no se perturbara o no se asustara. Entonces, este registro está documentado con el Departamento de Policía de Miami-Dade County. Solamente ellos van a ver esa información. Hay una ley que compartió con nosotros el abogado Lorenzo Coviella, que hay una ley con el estado de la Florida que no permite que esa información se le dé a más ninguna persona. Si hacen alguna averiguación de la ciudad, esa información nunca se va a compartir con nadie. Se queda dentro del registro con el Departamento de Policía, no solo en Miami Lakes, sino con todo el condado Miami-Dade. Es un programa que nos va a beneficiar mucho a todos. Los policías han recibido training, no sé cómo se dice training, John. Entrenamiento, gracias. A veces la traducción no me sale muy bien. Los policías en todo Miami-Dade County han recibido entrenamiento de cómo acercarse a personas que tienen alguna discapacidad o que algo los molesta o los altera. Y entonces ellos, cuando ya saben que hay una persona que tiene estas limitaciones, pues cuando se acercan a la casa, pues ya utilizan ese entrenamiento para que esa persona responda bien, para no asustarlos. Igual también hay una bandita verde, que es la bandita que ellos están enseñando. Todas las personas que se registran van a recibir una bandita verde en la comunidad. Si en algún momento hay una persona que está sola, que luce perdida y los policías lo ven con la bandita verde, pues pueden acercarse a la persona y brindarle ayuda. Es otra manera que tenemos para poder identificar a una persona que quizás necesita ayuda, quizás no, pero a la vez nos da un poquito más de ayuda a nosotros para poder ayudar a esos individuos. Did I miss anything?
Perfecto, todo eso.
Ta-da. Si tienen alguna preguntita en español, con muchísimo gusto se la podemos contestar. Oh, yours, John. Back to English.
Thank you. Back to English. Did everybody understand what she said? I mean, I know I don't speak Spanish, but you were going so fast there. I actually was processing half of it. It's fast. It's amazing. It's amazing. So thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you doing that and helping everybody be able to understand that. Again, this is on Facebook and it should probably be posted there when it's all done. You're more than welcome to share it with anybody. We still have about 15 minutes left, and I would 100% like to invite everybody to please take all the food, eat all the food, mingle a little bit more, have some fun. We've got great stuff here on the table. There's free stuff for you to take. And if you want to talk to the council members here, the officer here, any one of us, we're all open to having a conversation. So thank you all for coming out. Enjoy your evening. And again, a big thank you to Access Insurance Group for sponsoring tonight and helping us bring all this delicious food that you're all going to go eat again, right? Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And you can go ahead and put the music back on.